Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final round of the IGP Super Formula Lights from Hockenheim. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth for the man who spent all day doing maths and come up with lots of scenarios involved that gave me a wall of text to read through earlier on. Will be Mr. Edward Hunter. Let's bring you up to date with the scores on the doors. This is with 2 drop weeks added as well, so be aware on this one. Simon Frelick out in front by 404. He is ahead of Antonio Jimenez on 389 with Luca Varani on 384. Now, Antonio Jimenez has to win. Simon Frelick, I believe, has to be outside of the top 16, but we will speak to Ed, who brought it all down earlier on. As well, Jakub Olezgrinski in 4th, Kevin Zwemstra in 5th, Andy Flint in 6th. Then you got Dennis Cornu, Robert Ridgway, Lee Aberdeen, Richard Van Veen, Stefan Donnerer, Joseph Mart Lucas, Patrick Williams, Fawad Rabelard, and Ben Goyette. Going down to the top 20, Raheem Hakim in 16, Mackenzie Room, Paul LeMay, Giovanni Solito, and Bart Jan van der Laan. Right, let's bring him in to the booth, and he can tell us all about what we're expecting here today. Is Mr. Ed Hunter. Ed, welcome in, bud.
Welcome, James. I'm sorry to bore you with a roll of text, essentially, because I can guarantee you only one of those outcomes is actually going to happen, but I gave you a list of about 25 or so.
You did, yes. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah, but there's 3 people, bottom line, that can be champion of Season 4 of the iGPFun Super Formula Lights Season 4 title. So that's Simon Frelick, of course, leading if you drop 2 results on 404. Antonio Jimenez and Luca Varani, of course, with Varani being a previous champion as well. So Frelick, in theory, has got a pretty easy job to do, but it's interesting to point out, of course, with the drop your 2 worst results rule, he doesn't have a safety net because he missed Silverstone earlier in the season, didn't start that race because he was moving house essentially, and Circuit the Americas, the American Grand Prix there, he crashed out as well. So he's got no safety net. If he doesn't score any points here, then he is going to finish 3rd, basically, at best, behind him and Varani. But of course, with those 3 wins, 2 second places, if it comes down to a tie, Frelick is looking very, very good. When it comes to Jimenez, he's dropping a P20 from Spa-Francorchamps and a P9 from Circuit the Americas. Luca Varani, he's also dropping a P9 and a P15 from Interlagos, essentially. But of course, you finish P9, you get 35 points, don't you? So that's basically he has to get out of that kind of point range, essentially, to not. So the thing is, Frelick, if the other 2 don't finish, they've still got that P9 in the bank, whereas Simon Frelick doesn't have that sort of safety net underneath him, essentially. So 16th would be 16th or better is the that would seal Frelick the title no matter what happens today. Whereas Jimenez and Varani, they need to win with Frelick 17th or worse, or in the case of Varani, he needs Frelick to finish 22nd and Jimenez 7th or worse to make sure that he scores, he breaches the 5-point gap between himself and Jimenez, and that it doesn't come down to a tiebreaker as well. Although, to be fair, if he wins, I think 7th would guarantee it, because it wouldn't come down to the tiebreak because Jimenez hasn't won any races this season. His best is that 2nd place last time out at the Nürburgring. So yeah, that is the maths. Let's see what the reality gives us though.
Right, hope you all understood that. Any questions, let us know. And I'll
questions on the postcard.
Yeah. P.O. Box, I don't have a clue what's going on. No, I'm going to pass it over to Ed. And
I'm not going to dox myself on stream and give my actual address. So, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is nearly Christmas, but still.
Yeah, well, you don't want a Christmas card in the post for any of these wonderful viewers at home?
I have a feeling if I give the wrong maths and say the wrong person's won the title, they won't be sending a Christmas card, they'll be sending a card of a different nature. So we're not going to get it
right. We'll keep Ed's address out of YouTube chat, everybody. On that one, qualifying has just come to the end. We will tell you about the grid very, very shortly. We've got 29 cars on the grid. Of course, the F1 was on today, and we do end up getting suffered from that one. However, I do find this a lot more interesting. But hey, that's just me. I'm just different in that way. But let's bring you up the grid once Yunus Amal goes over the line. We have got Jesper Sandström back in the booth again. back in the booth, I should say, back in the race. And guess where he is? Out in front. So there we go. Can he make it?
No surprises there.
Yeah, can he make it 3 out of 3 for Jesper on that one? Still going to be an exciting one, I think, Ed. I think this one could be a bit of a thriller in Manila.
Yeah, well, except it's in Hockenheim in West Germany. But as we see Yunus Amal, who's on the front row alongside Jesper Sandström, absolutely hanging it out through the final corner there. So the Moroccan driver who finished in the top 4, didn't he, last time out? He's on a real rich run of form. He really seems to have been unleashing some pace. So he's looking for that first podium of the season. So this could be a big, big opportunity for him. But he's got some really quick drivers and title contenders not far behind him.
Yeah, let's bring you up the grid here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesper Sandström out in front, Yunus Amal in second, Jakob Oleswinski third, Simon Fessi in fourth. Tony Jimenez has done one job. He's got ahead in fifth place, ahead of Kevin Zoenstra, Simon Frelick and Mackenzie Room with Ludovic Rancon in ninth. Dennis Cornu, Luca Varani down in 11th, and Chris Patel down in 12th place. Moving on from them, we've got Andy Flint, Chris Bell, Fibard Rabelard, Bart-Jan van der Laan, Joseph Mark Lucas, Robert Ridgway, and Richard Van Veen, Patrick Williams, and Eddie Amos, the last on the grid. Let's not forget we have got the Magenta Zone. That runs until the exit of Turn 1. We've got 31 laps of racing here. And it's all about who's going to be able to do what. Can Tony Jimenez get there? Can Simon Frelick finish the race ahead? Well, questions will be answered, and they're going to be answered very, very shortly here. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, before we get up and running. This is going to be a bit of a spicy one here this evening, and one that I think could make or break a lot of people's championships.
Yeah, well, 3 people in particular, of course, being Jimenez, Frelick, and Varani, of course. But yeah, Jimenez at least qualifying 2 places ahead of Simon Frelick, but all the pressure is on Simon here. He knows he absolutely has to finish this race to seal the title, but he doesn't have to finish particularly high up. So it's just stay out of trouble, do not take any risks. But that is a lot easier said than done. For Tony Jimenez, he's just got to go for broke and hope that he can keep up with Sandström. If he wins, that'll give him the best chance. If he finishes second, he needs Frelick 18th.
Right. So every place that Tony Jimenez, basically, if Tony wins, Frelick 16th. Tony's second, he goes down 17th, and so on and so forth. Okay?
Essentially.
Essentially. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Ladies and gentlemen, the last race of the season is green, green, green. Jesper Sandström has got out in front here with Yunus Amal tucked in second place, Jakob Oleswinski in third, Tony Jimenez in fourth. Do they all make it through Turn 1? Well, they do at this moment in time. No real dramas going on currently, and everybody is where they are. They are now officially racing. Simon Frelick through into Turn 2 on the run out from Turn 3 and 4. And at the moment, here's Sandström out in front. Eddie has done what we expected him to do. He's rocketing away in the lead.
He has, but look, this is the parabolic of that long run to the hairpin, and Yunus Amal has got a great run. He's going for the lead up the inside on Jesper Sandström. Didn't think we'd be seeing this today. Sandström breaks really late round the outside and muscles his way back through there, so there was a small opportunity for Yunus Amal, but now Sandström has covered it off, and I think he's going to try and escape up the road here. Meanwhile, Tony Jimenez struggling to keep up with Simon Fessi. The top 4 are all bunched together, but look just behind, it's Ranson and Zemstra that muscled their way ahead of Simon Frelick.
Yeah, Richard Van Veen's gone around. Looks like Sultan Samada's off the side of the circuit as well. We'll have a look back at them very, very shortly. Luca Varani still tucked in there as well. He's got his traditional green helmet in 11th place with Dennis Cornu in beside, but you can see the battles on in front of him. Simon Frelick, Ludovic Rancon, Kevin Zoenstra, all there, and at the moment Rancon is leading the charge. He's up 3 places. He's got Jimenez, who's got 2.6 or 2.1 seconds here, and he's still in behind Simon Fessi using the draft. Vitally important, I think, for Tony Jimenez to try and stay attached to Simon Fessi as best as possible.
And I wonder, is Ludovic Ranson, has he been instructed to hold up the group that Frelick and Varani are in? Because he's done a brilliant job of that too far. 2 seconds between himself and Tony Jimenez. Jimenez still just 6/10 behind Simon Fessi, who's all over the back of Oleszewski then as they rush through the parabolica once more and towards that Turn 6 hairpin then, and the BMW Williams from the mid-2000s livery Simon Fessi's got is almost alongside Olazuski, but he backs out of a move into the hairpin there as we see Zemstra and Ranson are going side by side just behind them.
Yeah, you can see there Swemstra has gone through. Frelix in behind in 8th. Jimenez is in 5th. It's not enough, and he is losing time to a rapid rate of knots. Kevin Swemstra, unfortunately, has still got Rancon attached to him. Frelix in the back, Mackenzie Runes in their corner. Luca Barani still in there as they stand at the moment. Simon Frelick will be a champion if all stays as they are on lap 2 of 31. If he was to end it right now, Frelick would take the championship. Whoa! Ranson off the side of the circuit, going into turn number 13. Through the left-hander he goes. He's got to be careful here. He can't keep doing that.
Yeah, and this is really, really scary times actually for Simon Frelick, because if Ranson makes a mistake, he is the next car immediately behind him. He'll have very little time to react as Ranson goes all the way off the track at the final corner. He is struggling to keep it on the road at the moment, and Frelick is getting backed into Mackenzie Rune here. This is just a nightmare scenario for the pole here, because he just cannot afford to, if he loses his front wing and has to pit potentially, that could put him out of a championship winning position here.
Yeah, I think a little bit Rancon is driving a little bit over the needs of the car. We've seen that multiple times. Simon Frelick's got to get through here. Is he going to use the speed of that Super Formula Light on the Parabolica? We're closing. We're going to go for it now. He knows he's got to get past Rancon. He knows he has to. Late on the brakes. Rancon's missed it again. Frelick should make it through now. He is going to be on the other side. He is going to be job done. No, they've come out side by side through turn 7 now at the moment. Rancon still side by side with Frelick going down into Mercedes. Is he going to be able to get the left-hander? He is.
I thought Ranson was going to clatter into the side of him there. Mackenzie Rune is still all over the back of both of them, but Frelick had to be really, really brave to pull that one off, and now he's got clear air in front of him, at least for 8 tenths until he catches Zemstra, of course. But yeah, that really is a major roadblock to Frelick that potentially is dealt with and done with now, because Ranson has now got to deal with a very quick-looking Mackenzie Rune behind him there. Mackenzie Rune already starting to throw up attacking shapes into the final 2 corners here.
I would be 2 things. 1, very scared if I was Rune. 1, absolutely bricking it if I was Simon Frelick, with a very wild Ranson in behind me, due to the fact that obviously if he misses his braking point, he's going to send it straight into the back of him. So from Simon Frelick, worry, but absolutely don't panic too much. Jimenez is doing the job he needs to do. He's keeping up with Simon Frelick. Simon Fessi, sorry. He's pulling away from him at the moment, and hopefully, you never know, he might be able to stay attached just enough here before he can get attacked from Swemstra. But you can have a look further back. They are literally 3 wide here, and it's just, wow, a lot going on.
They're all going so deep into the hairpin, and Mackenzie Rune is up the inside of Ranson, who again doesn't quite get the breaking point right, is trying to get the run around the outside of the American as they go downhill towards turn 8 and into the Mercedes arena, essentially. Here we have at Hockenheim, but yeah, Mackenzie Rune holds his nerve, and now he's got to deal with Denny Cornu. Does Ludovic Ranson, as we see, Chris Bell and Rabiard and Mark Lucas hitting trouble there.
Yeah. You can see he's behind the wall.
Somebody in the gravel.
Yeah, Joseph Mark Lucas. I think there was going to be contact coming out the corner. There is. Oh, his front wing got hooked on his exhaust. It just spun him round, unfortunately. That was very...
Chris Patel who tagged him in the back there.
Yeah,
so a small tap of big consequences.
And he just hooked him as well. It was like his front wing end plate had just gone and hooked the rear end there as well. Why are all of a sudden we're not going back live again? Just bear with me 2 seconds. There we go, we are back live. And now it's Jakub Oleswicki and Simon Fessi with Tony Jimenez closing in at the same time. Simon Frelick slowly bringing in Kevin Zwemstra. Luca Varani still in the mix, but he's got Denny Corner and Ludovic Rancon with Andy Flint right behind him. It'd be interesting to know how Flint's going to get on in all of this. Obviously, admins of the league, not really involved in the championship. I do wonder whether or not he'll put Varani under pressure or allow Varani to go and run and try and do what he possibly can. We've got Fibard Rabelard in a nice little battle with Robert Ridgway and Guy and Eddie Amos, Patrick Williams, still all fighting it out here. Eddie in that famous Tron livery machine, which looks absolutely amazing. Is he just about to hold that position? He's got to send out the inside if he does. Oh, we've just seen this, Ed, and that didn't go so well.
Yeah, but they're certainly giving each other enough room. Here are Nguyen and Eddie Amos, and now Patrick Williams going around the outside of Eddie Amos. So it didn't quite go the way that the Welshman intended there in his Tron liveries. Oh, Ranson in trouble. Ranson is round.
Yeah, Ranson has gone round. We'll have a look back at that. I do wonder whether or not it's coming off that curb. Oh, it's not that one. What has he done? Oh, final corner.
Understood curve. Yeah, and so lucky he didn't get collected by his teammate Denny Corner, who was first on the scene there as well. Just cut to the inside at the right-hand side in time. We have seen Yunus Amal did briefly take the fastest lap off of Jesper Sandström, but Jesper has immediately responded. 1:29.2, a tenth quicker than Yunus Amal behind him, and he's got the gap up to a second then, as we see Ranson trying to recover as Denny Cornu tries to defend from Luca Varani for 9th position there. So Varani on the move.
Oh, Ridgway swap back to the other side. Careful. Not doing it this way for time. Varani's on the inside of Cornu. Cornu's going to have is he going to come back at him? He's not. Varani makes his way into 9th place. Frelick is not under pressure. I think that's the worrying thing for me. It's worrying because he's not under pressure. He can just drive his race. He can just poodle around. He can just go and, take it like a Sunday drive, really, if he's that smart about it.
Yeah, Mackenzie Roon, half a second behind him. Mackenzie, usually a pretty clean driver, it must be said. He's and his results this season generally on the highest course. Whoa! And there we go. Simon, a completely unforced error there, it looks like. While I was completely putting my head in the timing screen, Simon has dropped it and fallen to 11th, which is still in a title winning position, but only by 5 or 6 places.
How? He didn't have any problems at all. It didn't even show up as there was an incident or a crash on the software. And literally, he just went and spun it up. And around he went, unfortunately for Simon Frelick, and now he's got
exactly what Ranson did, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's now got to try and not do that again. He cannot afford to do that again because Varani is now in front of him. Jimenez is far enough up the road. Luca Varani just lost a position to Cornu again. But yeah, for Frelick, no. He can't do that. He's got to try and now keep the car on track. We just talk about driving like a Sunday driver, and unfortunately he gets it all wrong as Robert Ridgway, breathing son, with Ranson. He goes around the outside of him. Nice move if he can finish this off. He's going to have the inside line, is he? No, Ranson does take it back.
Yeah, so if we see Tony Jimenez running 5th at the moment, if he finishes there, then he needs Frelick to finish 21st or worse to steal the title away from him then. So, of course, 16th is sort of that bare minimum no matter what happens, because we don't know. All 4 people in front of Tony Jimenez in theory could just drop out of the race all of a sudden and it could change the picture entirely. But yeah, so Simon needs to make sure he still has that buffer, because if he starts to panic here and Chris Bell gets through, Ranson gets through, then is the moment where he's going to get really, really worried. But if he just keeps lapping consistently in the sort of 130s, 131s, then he should just about be able to finish where he needs to finish. It just doesn't. He needs to make sure that he doesn't start pushing too hard and making more mistakes, because that potentially could put him into a really, really disastrous scenario where he throws away this championship, which is certainly not what he wants. You see Ridgway going through the Parabolica. Now he's got another run at Ranson, who cannot escape. He's going to be pushed to the outside here as Ridgway takes the inside line and takes that 13th position away.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, no, he doesn't. I think he's just scrubbed too much speed off on the exit. Did he manage to hold it? He did. He's a lucky boy.
He had little faith.
No, he was a lucky boy because he come in quite tight out the exit. And you just saw at that point, Ranson had a little bit more speed going in, but it must have been the second part that he's gone through. John McKenzie is having a nice little battle down here with Zoltan Zamora and Nguyen. And then we've got further up Luca Varani with Denny Cornu still having a nice little bit of a scrap. Everything above that has kind of settled down a bit. Jakub Oleszynski about a second behind Yunus Amal, not really making inroads. So it's all about here for Luca Varani and Andy Flint.
Oh, Yunus Amal in trouble.
Flint, Amal is sat there, and I can guarantee what he's done there. Come out of turn one, and it's all gone a little bit Pete's on.
Yeah, okay, let's see. So has he just attacked the curb that a little bit too much? He's fallen to 7%. Yeah, the rear was hanging out really early on as he had turned into the apex there, and he's had to sort of avoid reversing onto the track, so well done there. But that's a big shame for Yunus because he's gone from challenging to the lead to falling outside the top 6 here, although he has just immediately repassed Mackenzie Rune while we've been watching this replay, James.
Yeah, he's got Mackenzie Rune at the end of the Spitzkehrer. Here it is now. On that one, we're trying to get to the end, hopefully trying to get this back live. That would be wonderful. As we wait with bated breath, and it still doesn't, we'll have to do it that way. They're still side by side going into Mercedes. Through the left-hander they go. And unfortunately, Mackenzie Rune, is he going to be able to hold on? Yunus Amal's going to come out. Still side by side now as well on the run down into turn 12. Amal's on the left, Rune's on the right. It is Amal who makes that move in the end, gets the job done over Mackenzie Rune, but that has brought in Cornu, that has brought in Varani, Andy Flint and Frelick all in the mix at the same time.
Yeah, Frelick all over the back of his team at Andy Flint, and Andy Flint finished ahead of him because, of course, Frelick was able to get through because of Andy Flint's mistake, and then he made one of his own in the late stages at the Nürburgring now. And oh, look at both Hydra race cars just going completely off track there. And surely Simon Frelick is going to be challenging Andy Flint before too long because for the sake of just staying in a rhythm, he really doesn't want to be held up for too long behind his teammate here because Chris Bell could be causing some real problems for him before too long.
Yeah, but he can stay there. That's the thing. He must know, right? Frelick must know he's got this buffer. He's not silly. Do you know what I mean? He must know he's got this buffer and he can just play this as it is. He doesn't have to do anything silly. Andy Flint clearly lets him through without even obligating going down into Spitzkehrer, and he has job done for him. So the pressure's all on Frelick, where really Jimenez has just got to drive. Varani's just got to drive and see where they end up. But at the moment, pressure's all reeking on Frelick, and he's got to make sure he can handle it.
Exactly. We saw one mistake earlier. Now, next car ahead of him is Luca Varani as well. So he's got no obligation to let him through, unlike Andy Flint, of course. So yeah, Varani could be bringing out all the defensive shapes possible here. But he also wants to stay with this battle with Denny Cornu, Mackenzie Rune, and Yunus Amal, of course, who's just gotten back past Mackenzie Rune yet again then. So Amal, like we saw at the Nürburgring, he made a mistake there, kept his head, and he's now going to try and catch up that 3.7 second gap to Kevin Zemstra. But of course, all that mistake has gifted a place to Tony Jimenez then, and it means he needs to hope he can stay there, and Simon Frelick loses another 10 places essentially.
Yeah, there's Cornu looking back at Luca Varani. There's Luca Varani looking back at Simon Frelick, is a little bit further back. Behind that is Andy Flint. Dorian O'Rourke has been off the side of the circuit and unfortunately have to jump back to pit lane. But at the moment, it's all action taking place, and it's all coming from this mid-pack with Yunus Amal, Mackenzie Rune, Cornu, Varani, Frelick and Flint. And as we know at the moment, the main situation is just Frelick getting to the end. That's it.
Yeah, he's done a lot of the hard work this season. Of course, had the race that he missed through no fault of his own at Silverstone, and then the race that he crashed out of Circuit of the Americas. I forget exactly what happened. I think he was in second in that race behind Lee Aberdeen, was pushing that a little bit too hard. I forget if there was a back marker involved or something. He cut across the curbs at the S's and found himself in the wall. And that's sort of why he doesn't quite have the buffer in terms of the ninth place to fall back on that his title rivals, Jimenez and Varani, do, of course.
Yeah.
The battle's still very much raging on. And Yunus Amal, it's Amal, Frelick, and Ranson have all made mistakes in this race and had to pick themselves up from them. They were all three of them have actually done a solid job actually to regroup, as we see Sandstrom lower the bar yet again, 129.1, 3/10 quicker than Jakub Oleszewski, who's of course inherited that second place with the spin for Yunus Amal there. So Jakub Oleszewski could be on for his best result of the season, as indeed could Simon Fessi in that Williams BMW livery.
Yeah, great job from him as well. Just wanted to see front end of Mackenzie Roon's car. What is he going to be able to do? You can see the flex in the wing. Here he comes now, closing right in, right in, right in. Is he going to go for it over Yunus Amal? Of course he is. Is he going to dive up the inside? He's going to try. They're going to be almost banging wheels. Amal comes out in front. Roon gets a very poor exit, and that brings into effect Denny Corn, who sat in there as well.
Yeah, man, Rev Mackenzie Roon was running in the top 5 at Nürburgring, spun on the first lap, fell to near the very back of the field, worked his way up to 10th in the end, wasn't it? So it was a really fighting drive. We're having to see him get more defensive here as well, in the form of Denny Corner, because he's got the 2 Unity cars, doesn't he, either side of him. So what effectively is happening here is... big spin in front. Is that Jimenez?
I'm waiting. No.
It's a back marker. Okay.
Yeah, it's Richard Van Veen.
Oh,
Whoever that was, it was Richard Van Veen, and he had a big old snap by the looks of it. We will have a look back. I do have to unfortunately do my horrible thing. There's the snap, there's the round he goes. Back he comes, he manages to hold it off, and he does it that way. So fair play to Richard Van Veen on that one. Excuse me, I'm going to bring up the UI to get it back live, which is a bit of a nightmare. But there we go, we move on. Luca Verani, Denny Cornu, Mackenzie Roon, Simon Frelick, all in the battle. Frelick and Verani. How hard's Verani going to fight this?
Quite hard, I imagine. But yes, Simon does seem a little bit more fired up than before, doesn't he? As he gets crowded almost to the outside at the hairpin at turn 6 then. Simon Fessi, by the way, has got within a second of Jakub Oleszewski, so he's starting to give some pressure, a 10th quicker than the pole on the previous lap. So Fessi, who's not finished on the podium all season, Jakub Oleszewski, who's finished 3rd 4 times this season, he's 4th in the points as well overall, would desperately love to do at least one better, if not take the outright win if something happens to Sandstrom. But Sandstrom has pulled a 3.5 second gap to Oleszewski, is looking very, very comfortable as expected in the lead of this race then. Amazing to think he's 30th in the standings, having only joined really for the last 3 events. So that's the effect of all the points being, it's only 1 point difference between each position effectively. So that means if you finish, you're going to score a lot of points. The winner might only, if you finish 10th, the winner's only going to score about 10 or 11 more points than you effectively. So that's why the championship is so bunched up throughout the season.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading some stats. I wanted to make sure that Tony Jimenez...
Oh, Patrick Williams in trouble.
Yeah, Williams has unfortunately gone round on that one. It's going to be interesting on this. If Frelick does win, right, and he stays where he is, he's going to be all, unfortunately he'll be out.
He's not staying where he is, look.
No, Verani's trying to... is he going to send him around the outside for Luca Verani? He is, at this moment in time, how much more?
It was a little half-hearted. It was a little half-hearted defense from there. Because Frelick went for the inside Verani, or either didn't see it coming, or just decided not to fight it. It's that I've not got the pace of Simon Frelick today. I may as well stick him behind and hope I can catch up to the group ahead. And, Jimenez is sort of in a similar situation, isn't he? Because he's 2.83 seconds behind Fessi. There was the mistake, of course, from Yunus Amal, but other than that, he's not really had many opportunities to gain progress. He, of course, setting personal best, but it's still a tenth slower than Fessi. He's just not got the pace on the top 4, Tony Jimenez.
Yeah, looks like Verani's going to struggle to stay with Frelick. Ramex is in. Yo, yo, yo! He's put in YouTube chat. Welcome in, bud. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Halfway through the race, Ramex this time. So good job. A couple of people we are out. Richard Van Veen and Dorian Oruro have unfortunately left the Serba. Eddie Amos is chasing down Rangon, and as much as I want to say Rangon's driving out of his skin, he's looking a little bit raggedy.
He certainly is. Look how wide he gets at the exit of turn 1 there. And of course, this 16th position is the sort of bare minimum position that Simon Frelick needs to finish in to win the title race. So these are the people he doesn't want to end up fighting against, as Amos actually gets a really good run onto the Parabolica. How much is Ludovic Ranson going to defend against this? He gets immediately to the inside, to the apex, but round the outside comes Eddie Amos. That will be the inside for turn 6, and surely that is going to be a top 15 position here, unless Ranson can cut underneath him.
Oh, Eddie, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to come across like that. You could have opened it up and left him. You were ahead of him. Now all he's done is bring him into side by side, going into Mercedes. Eddie, sweep round the outside. He's got to try and get there. He's now going to dive for the apex on the inside. He's still got
so close
on the outside as well. Amos on the left, Ranson on the right. They're coming in now through into turn 11. Amos does take it, but he brought that on himself coming out of Spitzkehre. He didn't need to do it. And he's got dived as well from Ranson. Oh,
goodness. Don't often see moves into Sachs curve, do you? But Amos still alongside as they go into Sud curve, but has to back out very, very reluctantly. And now Nguyen is closing on the pair of them there. So fantastic racing between these two. But Ranson was not going to give up without a fight. And sure enough, he holds on to that 15th place by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, Amos would have taken an off track there to keep with him. He would have taken an off track going into turn number 3 now through the right-hander. Amos again, it looks like he's got a little bit of a clear run going on to the Parabolica. He has gone going in behind him. We'll see what goes on here. Is he going to be able to close up? I don't think he's close enough this time around. This is one of the closest battles on the circuit. You can see everybody starting to get a little bit spread out up front. We need a safety car. Ed, that would be cool. Maybe we could call one.
I don't know how, because I'm pretty sure it's not in the rules, and we haven't got anybody to drive a safety car here. So
no, we just put safety car all of a sudden. It's a admin command in the chat.
Oh, you can just do that in the iRacing, okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I'm an admin, but it still would be fun to be able to do. Go, right, guys, you're all too far away from each other. Safety car.
Well, we saw the spin for Richard Van Veen, but other than that, we've not seen any big safety car potential. Oh, no, there was the Patel Mark Lucas crash, wasn't there?
He shot him up in the air. That was safety car worthy.
We're a bit late on the day late and $1 short, I think. To use the expression, yeah.
A little on the phone.
It's hard not to tell people things when we're the commentators, James.
No, you just don't say anything. It's fine. I'll get Luca Varani to have me to admin, and then next year we'll bring in a surprise safety car if it gets too spread out. If you're like, right, Luca, give me the option. Or Eddie's trying to be so nice with that track limits on turn 1, and you can see Rancon in front of him is just like, nope. I'll take another one. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to cash checks that my penalty points can't take.
I got 17. I don't need to worry. It's all right. That's the thing, I think, as well.
It's gambler's fallacy, because he's already had a spin today, so he thinks, I got nothing to lose. This is going
yeah, I know. Let's just pick him up and run with it. Woo! So there we go, Rancon as well. Oh, dearie me. Last race of the season, guys. But don't worry, we are back in a couple of weeks' time. We have it all booked in, ready to go. Go live again on the 22nd of December. On that one, so we've got the 22nd, 29th and the 5th. So the 22nd will be the start of the new season, so keep an eye out for that one. We've got a couple of weeks break, of course, but that's about it, and then we're back at it once more. So yeah, see how this one goes, see how it all materializes. Frelick and Varani are probably, with Cordu, the only other two people that are close together. Late again, Lowell. Hi, lads. Hey, Ali, how are you? Never mind, mate. It's all good. You haven't really missed a lot, to be honest. Championship is looking like it's pretty wrapped up, Ed, with Frelick. Oh. No, look at him. I don't even know how many off tracks he's got left. He can't have many.
I think he's in Understeer City, metaphorically. But look, yeah, he's just going wide at every corner. And I think Eddie Amos knows if he just keeps the pressure on Ranson, sooner or later is going to get some kind of penalty for overextending some of these corners. What's been interesting going on is watching Olazuski, Fessi, Jimenez, second, third and fourth where they all seem to be trading times. Vessi keeps sort of occasionally catching Olszewski and then occasionally pushing too hard and losing time to Jimenez. But Jimenez still 3 seconds behind. Here comes Amos up the inside, then trying to get once more, take that 15th position. This time he hits the apex. Oh, and he gets tapped around!
Oh!
Ooh. And Zomator had to really avoid him there.
It's run over him! Run over him? He ain't a sleeping policeman.
Did Eddie Amos spin on his own, or did he get yeah, he definitely tapped
God.
around by Ludwig Ranson.
Yeah, then Ranson went on and had an incident after, I believe. Was he waiting, or did he just... I do wonder whether or not he's waiting for Eddie Amos. If he is waiting for Eddie Amos, fair play.
He's done more than that, because he's jumped to 24. I think he might have had a technical issue there, or he may have decided to call it a day.
I think he may have decided to call it a day for Ranson. He jumped straight back to pit lane. So I'm sure he might jump in as well. Ali's just told you it's called chronic understeer. That's what he heard.
Well, he's got more problems than that now with him being out of the race.
Yes.
But yeah, of course, that means we've got, I think, 23 cars still in the race. So it's looking more mathematically more and more difficult for Luca Ferrari to seal the championship, because he needs to win with him in F7th and Frelick 22nd, and with only 23 cars still in. He needs something really bad to happen to Simon here to stay in a chance, and he needs to somehow gain, get back past Frelick and get back past Jimenez, essentially. So it's looking a little bit unlikely. It's now Amos recovering. He's going to pick off Giovanni Solito then to get back into the top 19 here as they go into that turn 6 hairpin there. Solito, gets blocked a little bit at the apex. Amos goes a little wide, but surely they're still going to be side by side then through 7 and into Mercedes-Benz Arena, and Solito holds the place. Yeah,
he does. Amos didn't, just got his nose chopped off from Solito there, who turned around and was like, no, you ain't coming through, son. Good, nice try. Amos is going to have to try and battle his way through and see how he gets on. But at the moment, they are supplying the action. Bart-Jan van der Laan is down there as well. So a great job from him. I haven't seen Stefan Dollerer in the old Buzzing Hornets livery. I haven't seen him.
I don't think he took the start.
No, I haven't seen that one, unfortunately. There's a couple of people that are missing out this week, of course. Denny Corner has got Simon Frelick closing right up now. This is what it is for Frelick. What's he going to be able to do? And how crazy is he going to want to do it?
It's interesting. Frelick, if he can get past Denny Cornu and Mackenzie Roon, he'd be back exactly where he qualified, essentially. So yeah, he's sort of done a fantastic job not to lose his head, and just because when you make one mistake, it's so easy to sort of panic, essentially overdrive the car, and then you end up, it just leads to an avalanche of mistakes effectively. But Simon, a top driver, he's proven it in R-Factor 2 in GPVWC, and he's proven it here as well in iRacing in the Super Formula Lights car as well, that he knows how to win. He knows how to win a championship as well, and it's been a while since he's done that as well. So he's had a lot of bad luck, a lot of races that he's had to miss due to education or work getting in the way. And so if he can seal this title, then it still looks like he's on course to do it. It would be a big moment for him this year as well. Sandstrom sets another fastest lap. He's getting dangerously close to breaking into the 128, 129.051. So he's well and truly broken away from Jakub Olszewski, 5.36 seconds at the moment, as Simon Fessi is back within a second of Olszewski. So Fessi, I don't know what he had for dinner, but it seems to be working well for him.
Yeah. It's nice to see him do well, Simon. He's had a rough season. You know what I mean? I think it's nice to see Simon do well. I think that's the thing. He's probably well deserving of a good race for Simon. And fair play to him. I like the livery. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last race that we saw Simon Fessi at, wasn't it? I think it might have been... Was it Imola we saw him at? It might have been before then.
It was Interlagos.
Interlagos, yes, it has been a while then since we've seen him. But yeah, Fessy was second on that occasion. Yeah, I'd forgotten he was
Interlagos,
second on that occasion, wasn't he?
Yeah, he finished second on Interlagos, but he'd had Kota before that, 22nd, Fuji in 11th, Sebring 38th, Silverstone 7th, Spa 54th. So, you know, it's not a consistent season for Simon Fessy, is it, by any shape of the imagination on that one. Looks like Giovanni Salito has had a moment, and Simon Frelick has closed in. Oh my God!
Oh, scary moment for both drivers. Cornu's still falling down the order though as he tries to get the car going again. Chris Bell's gotten through. But yeah, that was nearly the title flashing before Simon Frelick's eyes. If he had hit Denny Cornu, it could all be over right now.
Can you imagine what would have gone on in Simon Frelick's head at this moment in time?
Pull to the right, pull to the right.
Poop,
That was
squeeze!
Oh, and Mackenzie Roon has got past Amal, so the two are still fighting over sixth position there, and Simon Frelick now released just 3 seconds behind them. He could well get in that fight for the top 6 overall. So yeah, Simon is a man on a mission. He wants to seal this title in style. Meanwhile, Simon Fessy, personal best lap of the race, 3 tenths quicker than Jakub Oleszewski. He's within 7 tenths now of second position. So game on for P2.
Yeah, Frelick nearly did not have a title there. If it had gone over
Nearly
the top,
didn't have a car.
No, if he'd gone over the top of Cornu, that would have been it. Game over. And he would have been in pit lane because he would have been in a complete and utter mess. Looking back out the back end, there's Eunice Amal behind us of the back end of Mackenzie Roon. And a great job from these guys still fighting it out. It's getting a little bit closer, starting to close up a little bit. Robert Ridgway's in there with Rabelard's in there. Cornu's in behind him. 28.9 for Mackenzie Roon, fastest lap of the race as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, first man in the 128. It's not Jesper Sandström, our race leader. It is Mackenzie Roon in the JP Broadcasting livery. So you riding on board with him there seemed to give him a little bit of extra speed.
It's not the JP Broadcast livery. It's his Get Good Team Racing livery, but he has got our logo in the bottom. So there we go. So
at the bottom of the rear wheel.
Yeah, he doesn't drive through me. Bart-Jan van der Laan has also had a moment. I'm wondering whether or not that's Chris Bell coming onto the track here. Or did Jan van der Laan do that all on his own? Hold on.
Into Sachs curve, let's see.
It's going to be in. Oh, he did that on the way in. There's Chris Bell's incident. Oh, Chris has already gone round. Final corner.
Oh, and has he tagged the wall? The first corner.
Curb. He's hit the curb on the exit of the final. And unfortunately, he's gone round there as well.
Did well not to hit the wall, actually. He got very close, but he just about stayed out of trouble there, but down to 14th for Chris Bell, so he's lost about 8 seconds, didn't he, and all of that. Denny Cornu getting back through, of course, after his own spin. So it's so easy to do into turn 1 when the car just gets a bit unsettled on exit. It's so easy to stay on the throttle, hope that it'll just survive. Sometimes it might be better just to get on the brakes, live to fight another day, and maybe take the loss of maybe a second rather than the full 8 to 10 seconds from a big 360-degree spin.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's a split-second decision of do you brake, do you accelerate, do you let the car roll? That's generally the two things, right? And when you get into situations where you need to make a quick decision, it's not that easy. And that's the thing, to be able to make the right one. And I don't know, I've never got it right. If I brake, I'm going to get hit from behind. If I let it roll, I'm going to end up on the grass. And if I try and accelerate out, I'm going to do more pirouettes than a ballerina in Swan Lake. So, you know, either way, it's all wrong.
Yeah, you got to look at Simon Frelick for a good example. That you commit all the way to the right and you stick with it. You don't change your mind. You don't get. I don't think he got on the brakes during that. I think he lifted a little bit, but just enough to get the car out of harm's way there. But yeah, he was quite lucky in a way, because if Cornu had swerved across the track as he was spinning, then who knows what could have happened. As Rabiard fighting away with Robert Ridgway there. And it's the Frenchman that's through into 11th position, but Ridgway is still positioning himself to the outside.
I'll tell you what,
not enough overlap.
No, you see Rabelais there open up the steering, right? That was what he did. He opened it up and was like, no, Mr. Ridgway, no. But that's what more drivers should do. That's what Eddie Amos probably should have done in that before he got hit there as well. And I think for him, this is the thing. It's all about that kind of aggression, limitation on what you have got, and whether or not you've got it in your locker to be like, actually, do you know what? I am going to open it up on you. You can't get through. You haven't got the overlap. So tough as well. Ian is in the YouTube chat. Hi. they put there as well. So hi, welcome in. You're coming in on the final race of the season. We've got 6 laps to go. Ridgway is in there. He is chasing down Fibard Rabelard. We've got Mackenzie Roon trying to drop off Eunice Amel here and not quite managing it at the moment.
He's getting the embers of slipstream from Kevin Zemster. You can see in the white and sort of dark turquoise green car ahead of him, but it's not quite enough to make the big difference here. He's still got to get defensive into some of the tighter corners. Varani, by the way, set personal best lap of the race 7 tenths quicker than Simon Frelick, who is, of course, not getting any slipstream from the 2 ahead of him. He's having to fight completely on his own.
They're going again.
Sorry,
they're going again. Rabelard and Ridgway down into Spitzker. Spitzker just for Ridgway didn't quite get enough overlap. Rabelard manages to hold on to it. Coming into Mercedes in the left-hander again. This is where if he's going to try it again, Rabelard is going to literally block him off. Didn't really give it a go this time for Ridgway. Is he going to try coming into turn 11? Well, it's going to be very interesting if he does on that one. And no, he doesn't, and does not try it down into Sachs Curve.
And look at, Denny Cornu, who's been about a second lap faster than both of them while they've been fighting each other. He's getting involved in this battle too, so he's got to make sure he finds a way through cleanly here if he wants to gain 2 positions and have any chance of finishing in the top 10 here. With, to be fair, Andy Flint 9 seconds up the road from this battle then, so it's looking a little bit unlikely with not long left in the race. But yes, Amal hasn't given up on Mackenzie Roon. Mackenzie Roon is now 9 tenths behind Zemstra, so he continues to close little by little, as we also see Sandstrom setting the fastest lap of the race again, 1:28.8, stealing it back off of Mackenzie Roon, much to the annoyance of the American.
There was no way Sandstrom was going to give that up. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
No way. It's not enough to win by 6 seconds. He wants to absolutely dominate this.
Yeah, he wants pole. Oh,
3 wide.
3 wide, near enough there as well. Rabelard's on the left. Ridgway's in beside. Is Rabelard going to open it up? He didn't. He played, well, he did, but he played nice a little bit. He gave him just enough room on the outside if Ridgway was going to be brave. In we go now, and at the moment, Ridgway's not quite able to get there. He's going to look at the dive on the inside for Mercedes. Nope, not this time. Through the left, through the right. Off they go up to turn 11, and at the moment, Ridgway cannot find a way through.
Nope, and he's got Corny breathing down his neck as well, which is not an ideal position to be in. So he's really got to make sure he doesn't leave the door open, but he's also got to be decisive. He's got to make that move. He's got to take advantage of the slipstream through Parabolica and wherever he can get it, really, because otherwise he's going to be losing a place rather than gaining one. But yeah, Rabiard has been absolutely defending brilliantly here to keep them at bay. As we see Solito, who's gained 11 places from where he started, passing Zoltan Zomatov for 17th there. So good moves further down as well. But yeah, it's still stalemate in the top 10 effectively at the moment.
Yeah, he passed him due to Zamota going off the racetrack.
Well, that explains that one then.
Yeah, there you go on that one. This is what Zamota did going down into turn number 1. He did exactly what Cornu did, effectively. Yeah.
Except he stops it. It doesn't do a full spin there, only half spins. Meanwhile, looks like Cornu had a really good run on Ridgway, and Ridgway 2 tenths behind Rabiard, and he's making a double move at the moment.
Well, you have to bear with on that one. Oh, Rabiard's gone round. Rabiard has gone round. Ridgway may have been involved in that. We're going to have a look. Coming down now into Spitzker. Oh, Robert, was this you?
Oh,
I don't really know if it was him. Was there contact there?
Yeah, because you look, Cornu has got a really good run. He sticks to the outside. Ridgway goes to the inside, almost forces himself into a move. Cannot quite get it stopped in time.
Yeah, I think there was the slightest little bit of contact from Ridgway at Rabiard there. And unfortunately for Rabiard, it's gone round. We can't get it back live without bringing up the UI, so apologies. Kevin Zwemstra looks like he's being closed in on Mackenzie Roon. Andy Flint is still a second back from Luca Varani. No real improvements on that, but it's going to be here, I think, with Mackenzie Roon and Kevin Zwemstra are the ones that may gain closer to each other.
Yeah, and I think Ridgway repassing Cornu, actually. Interesting. So Cornu making a mistake of his own and he's starting to tumble down the order. There he is, Chris Bell just getting through for 12th position. And it just looks really unstable. So I think Denny Corney might be, his tyres might be just crying enough with the punishment he's put them through, putting him back into the clutches of Rabiard, as Zemstra has to set personal bests to keep Mackenzie Roon at bay there, so they're getting very, very close, and that's allowed Yunus Amal to crawl back within a second of Mackenzie Roon as well.
Yeah, Rabiard there back with Cornu, so they're back together. Then we've got Zwemstra, Roon and Amal. They're all closing back together again. We've only got two, where are we on? Lap 29, we've got lap 30, 31. Ali, iGPFun is just missing something. When there isn't Aberdeen and Hakim in it, waiting for next season to hopefully follow from the start. I think you might be right, but it's the likes of when Sandstrom is here, they are not. And when Sandstrom isn't here, they are. And we really need all three of them on the racetrack at the same time.
We've really got to get a schedule plan.
Yeah, they've got to calendarize everything, haven't they? You know, right, boys, I'm going to be taking part in this one. Right, I'll do that one and that one and that one, and then we'll have this week on. Because that's how it's worked, Ali, this season. When Sandstrom's been here, Aberdeen and Hakim haven't. When he hasn't, they have. So they really need to get it together, mate, on that one. We can't organise their calendars or schedules for them. But yes, it would be nice to have all three of them on the racetrack at the same time to see what goes on, because I think some improvements this year as well, and I think it could be a very interesting season if we get them all on the track at the same time.
You can only beat who shows up, though, can't you?
Yeah. And Sandstrom is literally done, sort of demolished everybody for the last 3 races.
Yeah, the only time he's not been in the lead was at the very start when Amal got the slipstream on him. And even then, that wasn't for very long, was it? That was literally for half a second or so. Sandstrom has led every lap. He's really on his way to a Grand Chelem. Zomator retires from the race, so that's a big shame. Only 19 drivers left, so mathematically, Luca Varani, his chances of winning the title are getting more and more remote at the moment, unless some tragedy befalls Simon Frelich. But he's survived well. 4 seconds to Amal ahead of him and 2.3 to Varani behind. So Frelich in a nice clean bit of track. All he has to do is just keep going for the next lap and a half, and he will be the champion of season 4.
Yeah, he's just got to keep plodding around, doesn't he? Really do one thing. Keep it on the racetrack. Don't do anything silly. Hit your braking points. Slow it up if you need to. Take a step back. Breathe a little bit. And he's wrapped it up. That's it. That's literally it. He could have gone out and put his grandma in the passenger seat and drove around, didn't he? Let's be real, because that's what he needed to do. He had a short grid, short field, which helped. And he's obviously made a mistake and he went down to 8th. He's only down 1 from where he qualified. So technically, he's had a good race. And that's the thing. I think, he's done what he needed to do in the final race of the season.
Yeah, so it's not about necessarily making mistakes. It's about fighting back from them and not letting it lose your head. Of course, yeah. He would have known going in exactly what he needed to do. Just finish, or even if he didn't know exactly where he needed to finish, he hadn't done the points, he would have known, right, better than 9th because of the drop scores, then that'll do. And at the moment he's 8th, which is pretty much exactly where he would have wanted to finish. Not too low down, so it's risky, but sort of middle of the pack. And with a big gap in front and behind him, essentially. Well, not as big as he would have liked to Varani. Varani's still lapping about a 10th a lap quicker at the moment, but not enough time left to catch him there. Meanwhile, Mackenzie Roon hasn't given up on Zemstra, and neither has Cornu on Chris Bell. And Denny Cornu, he's got really good pace here, hasn't he? But unfortunately, a couple of mistakes, a couple of incidents he's gotten into. His Yunus Amal, look like he is out of the race, I think.
What is it with the unit? Oh.
Yeah, he just cut the track on the exit turn 1. Either that was a really badly timed disconnection, or
go on.
Or he cut the track, realised he had a penalty, and rage quit, essentially.
Or he cut the track, had his limit, and got DQ'd.
That could have happened as well.
Very sudden. Yeah. Cornu now running alongside Chris Bell through the left-hander now on their way down the Parabolica. We're on the final lap of the race as well. We're going to pick up on the leader. Sandstrom is coming round into turn 13. He's only got one more corner to go. I'm hoping these guys get to Spitzkare before he gets over the line, because I'd like to see how this one pans out. And Cordu does make it through, but Jesper Sandström is your winner of the final race of the season. A great job from him. Over the line he goes, with Jakob Oleszwinski coming over in second place. Simon Fessi takes an amazing third. Well done, Simon, for that one. Tony Jimenez, looks like you're going to be second in the championship. Swemstra in, Runes in, and here he comes, the man of 2024 season 4. Simon Frelick has wrapped up the championship. He is this season's championship winner. Great job from Simon Frelick, as everybody else is starting to come through over the line as well. There will be celebratory donuts, which we will pick up on, but we're going to pick on Giovanni Solito and Mackenzie, who are running side by side. Mackenzie's had a bit of a rough one, and he does go and make it through over there as well. So Giovanni Solito, great job there as well. Good final race.
Yeah, some good battles here and there. And congratulations to Simon Frelick. He's already doing the donuts, isn't he? Looks like him and F as well. Reachway in there too. And, of course, Simon Fessi. So, yeah, but it's this Simon Frelick, who has, as you say, been the man. He's got his own little donut space, his championship donut space.
They were all doing him in turn 1. They were all doing him in turn 1, because that was where I was told to look. They were like, James, we're going to do our final season donuts in turn 1. I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out. And then
fireworks night at the moment. Trying to smoke over there.
Yeah, then look, we got Simon Frelick, who's on his Jack Jones down here in turn 3. He's like, I'm champion, I don't need you lot. And he's doing his celebratory donuts as well. So great job from everyone here who's taken part this season. It's been an absolute stellar season as well. Massive donuts for everybody, so fair play to them. Let's bring up the results of the final round as we keep that smoke background there. And it's Jesper Sandström again, 3 out of 3. He's only been here for 3 races. He's taken the win in all 3. Jakob Oleszwinski in second, Simon Fessi in third, and Tony Jimenez in fourth. Kevin Swemstra 5th, Mackenzie Roon in 6th, and your champion Simon Frelick did wrap it up, but down in 7th place. Luca Varani 8th, Robert Ridgway, Danny Cornu, Chris Bell, Fibard Rabelard, Ngayan Bengoye, and Bart Jan van der Laan down in 15th. Then we got Giovanni Solito, John McKenzie, Eunice Amal, Patrick Rowlands, Patrick Williams, Andy Flint, who's 1 lap down as well. What did happen to Andy Flint and how did he end up down there? With Eddie Amos, Zoltan Zamoda, Ludovic Rancon, and Richard Van Veen. And then we got Dorian Ruro coming down on that one. Did we lose Flint somewhere that I wasn't aware of?
I've got him 9th on the timing screen here, behind Varani by 7/10.
I wonder if somebody went over the line with a penalty, because I've got him down, well, at the end, you can see there, down in 21st. Bit confused. But there we go. Well, another great season. Simon Frelick champion. What more can we ask for going into next season, Ed?
Yeah, just confirmation on the point. Simon Frelick 441, Tony Jimenez 429. So yeah, there you go. That's a 12-point gap in the end. So pretty close actually with Jimenez's 4th place there, but Frelick had more than enough in hand. And there's some brilliant performances this season. Some fantastic wins. I didn't get to commentate on any of them sadly, but you certainly did, James. And I can't really think of a more deserved. I mean, Lee Aberdeen may have got more wins, but he didn't really show up to enough races. So yeah, Sebring, Fuji, Suzuka, all brilliant drives. And then of course second place is at Road America, Spa, and Imola too. Jesper Sandström of course has been so dominant, and Jesper really setting up his stall for future seasons indeed. But yes, in terms of consistency, I think Jimenez and Varani can certainly feel proud of the campaigns they put together. Yeah, for Jimenez to be within 12 points of Simon Frelick, of course, is a really, really accomplished driver. That is a good achievement for him. But yeah, for Simon, all the plaudits deservedly going to him, and it's so nice to see him finally seal the title after. In other championships, he's not already had the best of luck. He's had to miss a lot of races in GPV Formula Sprint 1. He won like 10 races, but was miles behind in the championship because he missed the other 10, essentially, due to, been working and all sorts of things getting in the way. But yeah, so to see him finally cross the line, finally seal it, that's brilliant to see. And I'm sure Simon is going to be celebrating long into the night before Christmas, we get anywhere near Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, that's going to bring this season to an end. It's been a great season. There's been some great action taking place. There's been some amazing overtakes. There's been everything here this season as well. But join us back in 2 weeks' time, as we'll be going in on the 22nd. Will be the first race of the season. Just waiting for confirmation of the schedule. But much appreciated. Ram, thank you so much. Ali, as always, as always, for coming in. Thank you so much. Much appreciated to all of you. But I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Edward Hunter. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track next season. Good night.